Ever watched a movie and been like, why does this even exist? Well, you're not alone. Hey guys, it's Phoebe with WatchMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies no one asked for.
Why? Because I want to know.
We're taking a look at unnecessary movies that were made, well, just because. Let's get to it.
Oh, hi, how are you? I was just on my way to see Lady Frogs.
If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below. Number 10, Robin Hood. To call this a remake is a bit of a stretch. We mean, 2018's Robin Hood tried so hard to give the classic story swagger that it ultimately just turned out goofy, with more slow-mo CGI sequences than a Michael Bay movie. There were definitely a few cool sequences, but nothing you didn't see crammed into the trailer.
I'm sorry, I couldn't save him.
But you tried to.
The story of Robin Hood should be about good, evil, and justice, and although this version had some of that, it felt a little too bogged down in turning the merry men into SAS soldiers, the setting into Call of Duty maps, and Taron Egerton's Robin into Neo from The Matrix. Let's just say it earned its triad of Razzie nominations.
Didn't see it coming. I did.
Number 9, The Girl in the Spider's Web. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo book series is about as gritty as crime novels come, and when David Fincher brought Lisbeth Salander's chaotic world to the big screen in 2011, it was praised by critics and moviegoers alike. However, 7 years later, the series got somewhat of a reboot with The Girl in the Spider's Web. Same characters, but a different cast.
And he hired me to take it back from them.
Take as in steal.
I think he wanted to destroy it.
Same dark and dingy intent, but not quite executed with the same amount of finesse.
You don't want to finish the game?
Oh. Checkmate.
It wasn't terrible by any means, but for fans of the series, the movie focused a little too much on Hollywood action rather than the collection of brilliant characters it had at its disposal. Number 8, Howard the Duck. To be fair to this one, it might have done better if it was released today, given the hunger for live-action movies featuring comic book characters. But it would probably still raise a few eyebrows and traumatize a whole lot of kids.
What the hell is it? I wasn't trying anything, honest. Snap on
First of all, the Howard the Duck movie was live action, not animated for some strange contractual reason, and that meant that its titular character was just plain weird. It lacked all the charm of the comics, the plot was a mess, and worst of all, it put a black mark next to any future Howard the Duck movie projects. At least it gave us one of the weirdest sex scenes of all time. Jeez.
Like they say, Val, love's strange. We could always give it a try.
Number 7, Death Wish. Charles Bronson's shoot-'em-ups were very much of their time, packed full of graphic violence and social commentary, along with some cheesy, endlessly quotable dialogue. When it was announced that Bronson's legendary Death Wish was going to be remade with Bruce Willis in the lead role, there was a collective mournful little sigh in the film community.
You can't do this! Paul, you're not a cop! Then somebody has to do it!
In 2018's Death Wish, the violence is way over the top, its commentary on gun control is a little confusing, and Bruce Willis is, well, he's Bruce Willis.
Who else was there?
Nobody.
Who else was there?
Combine all that with the fact that it was released just a few weeks after a tragic school shooting, and you start to realize why MGM would rather just sweep this one under the rug, in a body bag.
How is this part of his plan? How is this part of any plan?
Number 6, Sherlock Gnomes. For those not in the gnome, sorry, the gnome movie subgenre is a thing, albeit a very niche thing. There's Gnomeo and Juliet, Gnome Alone, and of course, Sherlock Gnomes.
Isn't that handy? Let's do this.
And this movie is extremely thin on the ground, relying on a bunch of gnome puns and a loose Sherlock-type storyline. In an attempt to add some credibility, the filmmakers even brought Johnny Depp on board to voice the eponymous detective, alongside names like James McAvoy and Emily Blunt.
What are you looking for?
An assistant who asks fewer questions.
But that didn't help. In fact, Depp earned a Razzie nomination for it, and it's no wonder. Okay, sorry. You think we're bad? Watch the movie.
This guy said we're all going to be smashed tomorrow. Smashed!
Well, that's not a very good surprise.
Number 5, Terminator Genisys. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is hands down one of the best action movies of all time. And in an attempt to relive the glory days of said action flick, the Terminator franchise was rebooted in 2015 with Terminator Genisys.
I've been waiting for you.
Although the movie made a lot of money, it left fans wanting, with Arnie's reprising role arguably being the only convincing part of it. With it massively lacking originality and love from audiences, the plans for a Genesis-spurred trilogy were stopped dead in their tracks.
What are you doing?
John!
Pops!
And the franchise was once again rebooted in 2019 with Terminator Dark Fate. We mean, come on, guys. Terminators are tough, but they can only take so much.
I can see you're very upset.
Number 4, Solo, a Star Wars story. Some things should just be left to the imagination, and that includes the origin of one of cinema's most lovable nerf herders, Han Solo.
I got kicked out of the Imperial Academy for having a mind of my own, but I'm a great pilot.
2018's Solo, a Star Wars story gave us an insight into the character's criminal backstory and love life. And although as an action movie it was pretty entertaining, it just didn't feel necessary in the Star Wars franchise. Seeing Han in his early days kind of took away some of the magic of the character.
Only way we're gonna pull this off is if everybody plays their part. Stick to the plan. Do not improvise.
We no longer had to imagine his juvenile years and how he and Chewie met. Plus, let's be honest, trying to cast a worthy young Harrison Ford is pretty much impossible.
See what happens when you listen to me? Hey, what are you doing?
Number 3, the Emoji Movie. Where to start with this one? Remember the Angry Birds movie, a film based on an app? Well, if you thought that lacked depth, the Emoji Movie is on another level. Yes, it's a movie about emoticons.
I want to be a working emoji, you know, like everybody else, and then I would finally fit in, you know?
Jam-packed with terrible puns and innuendos disguised as relatable humor, it's agonizingly awful from start to finish. It doesn't even feel like the filmmakers tried to make it a good movie, and its 4 Razzie Awards prove that.
Ooh, shade.
Or should we say raspberry emoji, number 4 emoji, trophy emoji. We're talking about a movie that peaks at Patrick Stewart playing a turd.
What happened?
I know it was an accident. We all have accidents.
Number 2, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Everyone wanted this movie to be good, like so badly. And in parts, we do get some of the old school badass Indy, whip, hat, scowl, and all. But we also get Shia LaBeouf playing a tough, comb-toting greaser, cheesy special effects, and, oh yeah, aliens. In fact, the whole story was hinged on the existence of aliens. This movie is particularly frustrating because it had so much potential, and it does have some genuinely exhilarating moments. But we just can't help but feel like it's a flat tire tagged onto a solid trilogy that ended 20 years before it.
Where did they go? Space?
Not into space. Into the space between spaces.
And now apparently we're getting a new indie flick at some point in the future. Like, did they not learn their lesson? Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Perhaps you never heard the joke, why don't birds fly? I'm gonna tell you why. Because where else would we ever want to go?
What are you doing? Do you think I understand a word you're saying? Ah! I'm a hamster!
Holy moly, holy moly, holy moly, holy moly.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Psycho. I know. Let's remake one of the most loved and flawless horror movies of all time, scene for scene, with Vince Vaughn in the leading role. Said nobody.
But it's no use in dwelling on our losses. No, we just keep on lighting the lights and following the formalities.
1998's Psycho is completely pointless. It offers up nothing but disappointing performances and is basically an insult to Hitchcock's 1960 original. The tone of the movie is way off, with Vaughn failing to give Norman Bates the likable innocence Anthony Perkins did, and the climactic scenes swerve subtly and go for shock value instead. It kind of feels like you're watching your friends at high school badly reenact a script you're studying for 104 mind-numbingly average minutes. Okay, take it easy. I, for one, was very interested in seeing Vince Vaughn playing Norman Bates. Not. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments or tweet me at Phoebe_WM. And check out this video. Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.
I know it's been a while since I showed my